Now we're live, right? All right. We're, oh, I hope I don't have to hear myself talk while I'm talking. That's going to be super weird. Still trying to figure out how to do all of this, seeing the chat and Twitter and such, because it's still a little strange. YouTube is up and going as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, welcome to the party. Oh, there's my chat. Huh. Well, good morning, guys. I know I wanted to do this closer to 10 o'clock, but here it is, 11 o'clock. I had to go to the VA, and so I'm sure some of you are military types and you understand that the VA is a wonderful and terrible place. I've had a lot better interactions with the VA since I got out of the Oklahoma system and started working more with the Arkansas system. Sorry guys, I'm organizing here in the background while I look through this, because I truly do want to figure out how I can look at chat on Twitter. Some of you guys that do this all the time, you're gonna have to help a brother out. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, all right. Well, if you text me something on Twitter, I won't see it apparently. I'll figure it out eventually. Yeah, no idea. I keep thinking I found. I'm like, oh wait, I'll just click that thing, and then I have no idea what's going on. So there's that. All right, let's talk ball. So VA first. If you're a veteran, if you're someone in the military, and you're not using the VA, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I know that they're not perfect. I've had some really, really bad occurrences with the VA, and it sucks, and I know you hear way more of the bad stories than you do the good, unfortunately. So, I, for instance, got some like lower back issues from one of my first couple deployments, and I went into the VA, and this is my main horror story, so I'll get it out there and I'll be done with it. But I went into the VA many moons ago. God, this is my 18th. My 18th Army anniversary was 6 days ago. So, and I asked the doctor, hey, I'm having lower back issues, and I want to get it looked at so we can problem solve. And she told me, new doctor. I had never met with her before. That's the other issue with the VA is you switch doctors sometimes quite a bit. Once again, I'm happier in the Arkansas system, or the Ozark system as they call it. The doctor told me, hey, we're not gonna look at your back, because if I find something, I have to fix it. That's what she told me. And so that was kind of the end of my wanting to deal with the VA for a little while. Of course, like I said, it becomes a necessity as the aches and pains start to add up. They have become better. I did move from the Oklahoma system out to the Ozark system, and I work out of Fayetteville. It's where I go. I've had a couple surgeries, stuff like that. Much better experience. So if you're over on my side of the state of Oklahoma, that northeast side, anywhere on the east side, I used to go to Muskogee a lot, but that's where I had the issue with the doctor. Told me she wasn't going to look at what I was dealing with. She was afraid she'd have to fix something. Anyway, I've gotten over here to the Arkansas side, and everything has been much better. So my doctor's, I think I use Dr. Zimmerman's, who I use here, and he comes to Jay to see me. If y'all don't know, I'm from Jay, Oklahoma. And he's a blast. He's a hoot, man. I actually look forward to my annual checkups. So there are good VA reps out there. The VA can be a good thing. Just You may just have to look around a little bit. Anyway, I didn't want to come and talk VA this entire time. Like I said, I want to try to keep these coffee talks short. I do have my coffee. If you have not heard my bear hunt story, I'll share that at some point. But there's my customized mug. I had myself and my stepdad these sweet Yeti handled coffee cups. So that's what I'm having my latte out of today. Iced latte for the win. Let's talk some duo. So, duo is a play that I first kind of ran into maybe last year. And it was Coach Caduti's duo. And then, much like everyone else, I lost that clinic. I have no idea where it went. So if any of you know where to find that Coach Caduti clinic, please do let me know. And I think he's supposed to share me some stuff. He came and did the Sulphur Strong football clinic with me the other day. By the way, if you haven't checked that out, the website is down. I need to talk with Wade. I have an appointment to talk to him today, or I have it on my schedule, so we can get that figured out, because I don't want people to not be able to buy that and help the fundraise. So I will have a link to put back out there very soon. But that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing that, and Coach Goody came over. But anyway, duo. And so without his clinic teaching me the rules, because I, of course, didn't write them down way back when I found that clinic. So now I have to find some other ones. And so I can't even remember where I found the new rules that I'm going to coach up this year. But let's just get to huddle. And so move some things around here on my screen. Guys, I'll get better at this, probably. Maybe. It's likely. For the most part. All right, let's check it out. Maybe my screen's not going to work. This is huddle. All right, let me do some technology here for just a second. Boom. All right, now you got it. Okay, so duo, right? My favorite part about duo is that no one can agree on whether it's a gap scheme with no polar or if it's inside zone backwards. And my favorite answer to that is yes. Yes, it is. I think it's both. And, if you're a zone team, then I think you can use that to your advantage and say, hey, we're just going to block inside zone this way, and we're going to run the ball the other way with a cool read. Because that's kind of what it is, right? We run a zone insert that's inside zone using an H-back to reach that backside inside backer. And with duo, we read him and just kind of make him wrong. Once again, my mantra shows up, and which maybe that's why I like duo so much. Just make him wrong. And if you're a gap scheme team, I think you can teach it like, hey, here's a whole bunch of down blocks. And then if you aren't downing, we're going to work double teams. So I think it's pick one, run with it. I don't think you're wrong. So let's look at kind of our rules. Once again, I've drawn this up to a 3 front because that's what we're seeing here. And of course, we have a roll down backer here because this is our infamous tight end wing with twins away. You've seen a ton of this in Kenny stuff. Coffee, wait one. Right, his this lid is limiting what I can drink, so we're going to take that off. Kenny's like his whole gun tee's based out of this, right? This formation, and then adding like 1,000 more with different tags. So we're going to look at it today out of this one. We see a lot of 3 front. I don't know. It's mainly kind of the Okie front, right? That 404. Some tight front. The bigger clubs around here generally running the tight front. Not so much. Not so much the smaller schools. And I think it's just because they want to slant a bunch and not worry about trying to run that tight front and problem solving it is probably the issue. But I'm not here to talk defense. I want to talk some duo. So our base rules this year, okay, are going to be, is there anyone in your gap or head up on you? If yes, block them. And if there's not, then you're going to work a double team. So this is duo to the right. Oh my God. Hang on. I have a pin. I have an entire pad built for this. I almost forgot about it. I don't even know if it works with Huddle. If you don't have I think they're Wacom pads. It's really neat when I'm making like PowerPoint stuff. Oh, it's not going to work. Kinda. It kinda works. Let's see here. All right, so just gonna use my mouse. It's easier. Okay, so we're gonna run duo to the right. So what does that look like? Okay, so I'm gonna tell everyone who has anything about this surface. Okay, so this tight end and wing have got to have the same rules as my 5 offensive linemen. And their rules are, if there's someone in your gap or head up, you have to block them. Okay, and that wing, I can't remember all the terminology you guys are using nowadays. You got these guys where they press real close. We call that like highway alignment or something, and then if they line up deeper, there's another word for it. I don't know. Put them where you want them. I tell them align to perform. Stole that directly from Joe Daniel. So, but that is technically his gap, so that backer's in his gap. So in that case, you have a block. Okay, should look like a down block, but it could be a base block. Okay, and then everyone else, we're going to double. So if there's no one in my gap or head up to me, okay, then I want to work a double team. Whoop. Good old huddle there. Okay. So we're gonna teach this footwork. We're gonna call these doubles just like we would in a zone scheme, and then that's gonna let our linemen know kind of what their footwork needs to be, right? That's one thing is when you get all these heads up formations or defenses, a traditional down block might be gone. However, if I look at my center here, that nose may slant right or left. We don't know. So he's got to prepare himself, right, for the nose to try to cross his face to the play side. So he's got to make sure he steps that way because that's his guy and he's getting help from the inside. So don't get beat away from help. All right, that's a very key coaching point. I'm not running anything out of the dot formation or under center. Okay, so we're going to work a couple different running back paths this year. We want it to be quick hitting, so we're, of course, going to have a get downhill right now path. And we're going to have our kind of read it or run it like a counter play, take a counter step, because that's what most of our run game is based out of. All that matters is I want him aiming through this A gap, whatever way he needs to get there. Okay, so we'll just say it this way for now. Double teams are going to work to backers. Okay. Oop, another huddleism there. And the one guy I'm really not worried about blocking is going to be the corner because that's who I kind of want to get a one-on-one with. So we read this backer right here. We're going to replace him with a really neat red thing here. Boop. There. Okay, so we're going to read him. And essentially, if he fits, we bounce. If he scrapes, we stay inside. I've actually seen a little bit of people talking about reading both backers, so almost like a true zone run read. You have a first read, a primary, and then a secondary. They called it like a peripheral read or something, which is neat. If they both scrape, you could end up cutting this back all the way to the backside. So if he scrapes over and he scrapes over, now we're putting a foot in the ground and going here. I'm not completely against that. I think it's a little advanced for our first year in duo, so we're not worried about it. So what we're going to read right now is where does this backer go? So if he goes inside, we're going to go outside. Okay? If he scrapes, then we're just going to fit that A gap. So that's where we're going to make him wrong. And what I want to do is get this corner out here that a lot of you guys have slid a dude out there that can really cover but can't tackle, especially the small ball level. And I'm going to make him try to tackle one of my best athletes in space. Can run this to the field, can run it to the boundary, kind of whatever. I kind of like it to the boundary. Yes, I lose some of that space I'm talking about, but look, I need one move and go. But I do get the defense to kind of, they have to cover the field, especially with all the other stuff we're doing backside. Man, we're throwing bubbles. We're going to have a ton of RPO action backside. So that's kind of how we're doing duo this year. We can look at it out of some different fronts. But, I mean, really, it's primarily it's going to stay the same. Our rules and such. Let me try to just get rid of some of this stuff. If only there was a way to just erase the marks and not everything. And this is a great reason to run this formation, right? Because it's like, hey, where do I put this guy? Does he go to the passing strength, or do I put him over here to this extra gap that I can't defend? So I don't know. Who knows what we're going to get? We'll just make something look like this, right? Maybe they're going to roll this guy down and just run some true cover 3. There we go. Maybe that's how they'll do it. How do you defensive coordinators do that? All right, so then we just check our rules. So if there's someone in my gap, I got to take him. Oop. Head up or head up. And I'm going to put this dude in a 6. I don't know how you're going to play yours. I play mine in a 6 when I'm running forefront. So, okay, and then if there's no one there, I work a double team. So basically, if you like the Kenny Simpson rules of like gap down backer, which is not Kenny Simpson rules, by the way. I mean, we understand they come from well beyond his time. But if you like gap down backer, I use that here, and I just tell them it's gap or double. That's their only 2 rules in duo. Okay? So now what do we got? Well, the only thing that really changes here is that we do kind of work a double team into the lap of that backer so we can read him, or the read could get a little convoluted, but it also makes him commit. Like, he's either going to go inside and get inside this double team, or he's going to push outside, right? Read here is exactly the same. We want A gap. If the backer pushes A gap, then we're just going to bounce. If the backer scrapes across that double, then we'll bang it up inside. And I think what we this is one of those, like, we give you the alternate, but I don't know if that backer's going to scrape a lot. Somebody has to be in charge of that A gap, and I think it's going to be him to be gap sound. And so getting him to scrape over on a double team, on what his guard is basically a base block there. I know we're teaching ours to Phil, so I have to assume he's going to as well. But I don't know, man. The rules here seem to hold up pretty well. I once again can bounce out to a corner that is the dude that's not technically being blocked. I still think that I can keep this safety. Joe and I talked on the podcast, last night, so you guys will get it next Thursday. But we really talked about if that safety is a true alley fitter on both sides, can he actually get to both sides? And in this case, I don't know that he can. I don't know that he can come fit this alley on the backside when I'm going to make you force with a corner because I'm already getting blocking up on your roll down safety or your outside backer, whatever you want to call that, dude. I don't know if you're a 4-4, 4-2-5, whatever you want to be. But yeah, man, so that's kind of what we're doing for duo this year. I like the simplicity of the rules and a very simple offense. We're going to tag the crap out of everything, formations, plays, assignments, alignments, kind of the ASCA system, right? For another thing I stole from Joe. We're going to change up that ASCA system with tags on offense. And so if I can keep the base rules for my big dudes up front who are in a fist fight every play, right? The skinny guys get all the complexity. The guys up front get very, very, very simple rules to follow, and this just fits with us. I do teach it as a gap scheme with no puller. Once again, using the gap or double rule set. So that's my duo. I have to ask you guys what yours are. I don't know once again, how to answer chat on here. I wish it would just let me. Oh, maybe I found it. I don't know. Being a producer of things. Oh, it showed up as a notification. So maybe that's what it is. Anyway, so there you are, guys. That's how we're going to run Duo this year. Very excited to hear how you're doing it. What do you do different? What do you do the same? What's something you might take out of this very, very, very simple system and try to utilize? What's something I'm doing wrong? What's something I'm not seeing? Once again, I want these coffee talks to kind of come back to high school ball at our level with kids that aren't going to go play the next level, most likely. You know, a few of ours might. But for the most part, you saw my practice film yesterday. Well, Twitter you didn't. If you're on YouTube or if you've on Twitter, if y'all jumped over to YouTube and watched yesterday's episode, I guess, you know, you can see that we got kids that never touched football before that are going to be contributors, if nothing else, at least on scout team, which we're very big into teaching. You know, a state championship football team has a state championship scout team on the other side of the ball. So I have a kid that's never played a snap in his life. Well, he has now. It was spring ball of 2024. So, anywho, that's it, man. I want to keep this nice and short. Appreciate you guys that stopped by. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can hit me up at, let's see, here on Twitter at Coach Chambo OK. You can email me at chamberlainfootballconsulting@gmail.com. And the newly published, like as of yesterday, website, chamberlainfootballconsulting.com. It's ugly. You can really go there to quickly get the episodes of the podcast and kind of see what I'm working with. At some point, I'll have some more interactive stuff on there, but I'm teaching myself all this as I go, so take it easy on me. All right, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you learned something about Duo today. If not, I hope you can teach me something about Duo. I want to learn as well, so hit me up an email. If I'm doing something terrible, send me some game film. Love to see how you're doing it. Appreciate it.